Good morning, everybody. On behalf of our management, principal, HOD sir, and BCA department, I welcome all the participants and our chief guest, Mr. Tirumurthy sir, director, bootcamp services for the sixth day of our FDP, utility of digital tools for live online teaching. I request our guest to address the participants now. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
In today's session, I'm going to share a few of my thoughts on this digital teaching, online teaching, all that. Is it possible for you people to see my face? Is my face available or only the screen is available? So before we actually get into the session, I just wanted to share a few of my thoughts about how do I feel today, all that, and second, uh, about this online teaching, what are the challenges we might be facing, all that. And one by one, I'll show you a step-by-step demo of how we can present an effective online class, both through a live session and through a recorded session. Today's class or today's session, I am just planning to focus only on the live session demo, and maybe in tomorrow's session, I'll share how to deliver a recorded session or what are the tools we can use for a recorded session if we have a lot of limitations in terms of infrastructure, all that. Okay. Before that, I have a small activity for the participants. I'm going to share a small link in the chat box. I want all of you to fill your respective attendance or fill the form in that form which I'm going to share in the chat box. It is a matter of 30 seconds activity. Once you have done that activity, kindly say done in the chat box so that I can see and I can proceed further. Okay. So can you see the link in the chat box? Yes. Kindly please fill in the form. I see somebody's mic is turned on. Can you please switch off the mic, please? Okay. Yes, sir. I'll just share that again, sir. I'll just share another link so that. Can you please check on this link which I am sharing now? Okay, no problem. If you are unable to fill the form, maybe by end of the session, I'll also share these links with you. The purpose of this what attendance form filling is to explain few things on the go. I'll just tell you what was the purpose of this attendance maybe after some time. Fine? Cool. Okay. So, first of all, I wanted to understand how do you all feel now, and maybe you guys can text a message in the chat box. Okay, especially I'm just asking about two things. Number one, how do we all feel after lockdown? Number two, how do we feel now? Especially myself. Maybe when you have free time, you just type that in the chat box. Maybe I'll read it after some time or the session is over. Okay. After lockdown, I personally feel a lot of us psychologically has uh, been affected in a lot of ways. What is going to be the future? How it is going to be from here going forward? Especially teachers, we'll all be so much rusty because we always have a routine of going to college and seeing the students, delivering some useful classes, all that. But now having all that been temporarily stopped, uh, to some point, maybe for 1 week or 10 days, it might be okay. But then after that, it will actually have a lot of psychological impact. To me personally, initial few days were very difficult, maybe a month or so. After that, it gave a lot of time for my introspection and being a teacher. I started thinking about what values I can deliver to my students, all that. So it was actually what a small break in my regular flow, and it gave me a little bit time to think about what we can do further, what value we can add extra, all that. Number one. Now, especially in this online session, webinar, I feel that I don't know who's watching, who's not watching. I don't even know whether my voice is being delivered properly or my face is being delivered properly to the audience. All that. Okay. So it's a bit challenging and it's a bit difficult. But then a lot of people say this is going to be the new normal and we have to get adapted to the real digital scenario. Okay, fine. So this is how I feel. I feel a bit nervous, and because I don't know who's on the other line, is my class being effectively delivered or all that. With a lot of anxiety, I am delivering all the webinar sessions which I am handling for different college students nowadays. But then we have to get adapted to it, and we have to see what we can control, what we cannot, all that. Fine. And next, there is going to be a small takeaway for all of you who attend this session actively for today and tomorrow, because I'll be posting a lot of links in between. I'll ask you people to fill in the forms to check whether you people are actively participating in the session or not. Only that. And for all the active participants, I might give a one-on-one support in setting up digital classrooms, all that. Maybe by end of tomorrow's session, I'll share my contact details so that you guys can call me and ask any support regarding setting up an online class or how to deliver sessions through offline mode, all that. This is the valuable takeaway which I am going to provide free of cost only for the active participants of this 2 days session. Okay, fine. And one more thing, this whole thing which I have told I might be providing it free of cost for you people. It has a lot of value in it, and I personally charge some money for doing this for a lot of institutions as a consulting charge. Okay, so actively participating in this class will have a huge takeaway for all of you, in addition to the certificate you will be receiving for this online FTP. Okay, fine. Okay, so next, online teaching challenges. Okay, so before I explain one by one by step, I would just like you to say me uh, whether all of you can follow whatever I'm telling, or you have any challenge in hearing. Okay, so is my audible? Am I audible to all of you? Yes, yes. Okay, fine. So meanwhile, at times I'll be asking this question to have a check of whether my session is being reaching the audience. All that fine. Now back to the session. So online teaching and challenges. Of late, I have been asked to deliver a lot of online classes, especially after this corona, because I'm a critical resource person for a lot of colleges in and around Pollachi, in delivering their placement training sessions. Okay, so these are the primary challenges I found using my online sessions. Number one is infrastructure problems. Infrastructure meaning, uh, so I have to deliver all this session using my computer and internet facilities available at my home. Okay, so first infrastructure, I mean uh, computer facilities. Especially computer facilities, we can buy a computer, no problem. But I cannot all of a sudden change my house from inside a farm to center of the city for network connectivity. So network connectivity is one challenge, one infrastructure problem we might actually face. Okay, some network might give you a faster bandwidth, some a lesser bandwidth. Even in fact, even at my house, I can only get 2G or 3G internet speed. So I am now actually sitting in my mother-in-law's house for delivering the session for a better network connectivity. Even here, it is not that very fantastic. Right? At times, my voice might be breaking. Please bear with me. Okay, and also room setup, office room setup or a classroom setup, because when we handle classes at our home, right, what we actually might face is, even today you can uh, hear a lot of things. At times there is a baby here sleeping, it might start crying, mixy sounds will be there. So always we need to educate our audience that this is not going to be a formal classroom setup. So they have to what get a way of living along with it. It's absolutely okay to set up a room, all that, but it is not possible for everybody to do that, and every scenario it is to do that. Sometimes people who are on the opposite side, especially our students, has to adjust a few of the things which they might face on a live session. Okay. Second challenge I face is participants attendance and monitoring. Okay, so usually my sessions will be of 2 to 3 hours. In colleges, even it might go up to 6 hours at a stretch with a lunch in between. Okay, uh, in this in online sessions, it is basically 2 to 3 hours session. We'll be delivering some classes for the students. During the session, we can only see the number of participants. It might be showing 200 people online, 300 people online, but we actually first of all cannot know who is actively participating or who is actively listening, who is not. For that, we might actually create some attendance form and share with them at a regular intervals. Maybe if it is a 1 hour session, we can post it 1 or 2 times. If it is a 3 hour sessions, I might post 3 attendance form and I might take any one of these attendance form randomly will be the instructions I'll be giving to the students, so that only people who are actively listening to me all the time will be able to click on that attendance form, all that. So even today's session I plan to what share the attendance form twice. Okay, maybe I'll also show what is the report behind it, and if you people wanted to uh, get how to create an online attendance form, all that I can help you offline. This can be easily created using Google Forms. A lot of form options are available. I believe most of us know that. Even otherwise, it's absolutely okay. Feel free to contact me anytime. I'll be giving you some support on how to create an attendance form online and share it on a live session. Second, monitoring. This is going to be one important task, especially uh, when this session is happening. I cannot monitor what my students are actually doing. Let us assume that you are all my students. I cannot, as I might have a specific instruction: take a notebook, pen and paper, start writing whatever I am telling. Or even in classrooms, you'll be writing something in the board, and we'll be asking students to actively write those things in their notebook. But now it is all their freedom, absolute freedom. So monitoring audience is not going to be that very easy in online teaching session. Unless or otherwise we will deliver a lot of values in the session, it is going to be little bit difficult. There are tools to what measure monitoring, or what our students are doing, all that. So this monitoring part has to be worked out a lot. Actually, this is going to be the most difficult part in the online teaching sessions. Okay, I'll also give some tips and tricks uh, to validate this monitoring of the students. Maybe by end of the session we all will actually know. Fine. And of course, effectiveness of the session. Once we are delivering something in the class, and I personally believe a teacher's responsibility doesn't stop with delivering a session online, or delivering a session on the class. Student has to actually get that inside his head. Even better, he has to apply in his life, or at least he has to remember that and write in the examination. Only then some partial result will be there. I see the partial result as the university exam results, but the actual result will be somewhere in his life. He has to use it. So only then the meaning of teacher or teaching profession gets validated or satisfied, is what I feel. Okay, so any online session has to be effective. To make that more effective also, I might be giving some tips. So today's session, how I have planned is some basic lectures for 20-25 minutes, and some demo session on how to handle a live teaching session, what are the tools associated with it, all that. Okay, so the fourth important part, test. Keeping a MCQ test is easy, but giving a full length test is going to be difficult in online, especially testing the integrity of the children's is going to be even more difficult. Please do not mind my handwriting, because it's quite difficult to write it on the screen. I'll also tell you how I am writing all these things in the digital board. Before that, please text or comment in the chat box whether you're all able to see whatever I'm writing in the screen. Okay, so can all of you see whatever I write on the screen, even the screen? Right, I'm just scribbling something. I'm saying a hi. Can all of you see that? Yes, cool. I will tell you how to do this, because this is the most critical part, or efficient part in delivering online live sessions, because it will give you some kind of feeling, or give the students some kind of feeling like they are watching the teacher on board. Maybe if they are unable to even see the face, it's absolutely okay, but they can see the board. Whatever we write will be visible for the students. It will be useful for better understanding. Okay, fine. Okay. Fine. Conducting tests and monitoring are more or less same. To test the integrity of the students, what they are, whether they are writing the test honestly or not. But only to a small extent we can do that. That actually in online uh, goes like a moral-based thing. We cannot control much on this part, but we can do whatever we can. I'll also tell you how we can do this. Okay. And the most important challenge in an online session is it is being recorded, right? And this is a very powerful point or a very difficult point to actually digest because a lot of teachers will be actually delivering a lot of values in their classes, but there might be some people who might not be delivering proper values. But especially in online sessions, whatever we do is completely recorded, and even if we make a small mistake on the board, we can straight away erase it. But online session, it's like a digital ledger. We cannot erase it. It's going to be really difficult or quite impossible. So for online sessions, we need to step up ourselves bit personally, right? We have to be an efficient teacher and be delivering as much value as possible. And some mistakes people will accept, no problem. Even we make little mistakes on the board at times, that is absolutely okay. But then the quality of content, the value we deliver in the classes has to be but uncompromisable, and we should be compromising on what we deliver, the content which we are going to deliver the class, that has to be really valuable. And one, our children students will be able to get it, and they will be able to what they will actively be coming into our class, uh, but filling or making students attend for what asking the students to create fill that form is a lot easier than making them come inside the class, especially in online. So only if we deliver some phenomenal value in our sessions, it will be very uh, easy for us as the students, and it will be effective. Okay. And despite all these challenges, I wanted to tell what is the power of this online session. The power of this online teaching is huge. Previously we were like in a classroom, there will be one teacher, and there will be to a maximum of but 40 to 60 students, or some sessions even inside a conference hall or an auditorium we can accommodate 1,000 people. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I think somebody's mic is actually turned on, because of which my voice is echoing. Please turn off the mic, so that I echo from the speakers which you are actually using. Okay. Thank you. And in this online sessions, one teacher can deliver very easily for 5,000 6,000 students, let's say, right? So if it is a valuable thing, it will be creating phenomenal value to the audience who are listening. Okay. So the power of online teaching is huge because it can be easily scaled. Even in this session, we can easily scale from 100 people to 1,000 people. It is just a matter of cost, and there are a lot of free sources available to actually scale this. Okay, so it is highly scalable, number one, and the value we can deliver using is going to be huge, very huge, right? And one more important thing, very essential thing nowadays for living our life is money. And Corona has even make us realize lesser money sometimes is enough to have a basic life, but then we need to have some money part, Correct. So if we, a lot of us actually know, if we deliver some classes using YouTube, we will get money using the AdWords, right? If somebody watches or somebody is posting some video in YouTube, if a lot of people watch that videos, a lot of money will be generated, correct? But what most of the people doesn't know is more than the YouTube money generated, the actual value a person can generate from a class is going to be very rich. For example, I'll tell you a small calculation. If there are some, let's say, 10 lakh users are watching your class live on YouTube, or they are watching some video, a recorded session, a recorded video, YouTube might actually pay them. It might vary depending upon the content, but then more or less it will be equal to some $1,000 or $2,000. On an average, it will be equal to 1 lakh, let's assume 1 lakh rupees. Especially the video or very good quality content. Only then they can post relevant ads. For some videos, even they have, if we have 1 crore users, YouTube will not give any money. Okay, so that is something. Okay, so if for 10 lakh users, YouTube might give 10 pies for an user, right? On an approximate count I'm just doing. So we might get somewhere between 70,000 and 1 lakh. It's the money, let's assume. But if you provide the class in a really valuable fashion, or if the class is very, very valuable for a lot of people, people actually don't mind paying 1 rupee for a session, right? Or even more money, they are ready to pay. So just multiply the scale and the money with the session which is going to create. So 10 lakh into 1 rupees will be equal to 10 lakh straight. And even if you charge 100 rupees for a valuable session, right, you need not even get a 10 lakh audience to deliver that. If it is really valuable, people don't mind paying 100 rupees. It is even less than cinema ticket price, so that they can deliver or get a lot of values out of the session. So amount of money which we can gain using this online teaching will be huge, but the way how, only time will tell. And whatever we are teaching has to be useful for some audience. We can create a lot of money, barring that YouTube revenue, because a lot of people know that YouTube gives a lot of revenue, but a lot of people doesn't know YouTube gives revenue only for huge number of viewers, and the amount will be very significant only if the amount of viewers is huge. But even for a smaller class, for a class of 10 people, 15 people, we can generate money using online classes, all that. Okay, fine. And to the session, common tools and requirement. Okay. For I'm going to split this into 2 parts. One is what are the common tools required for a live session and for a recorded session. I'm going to give a demo for each one of these sessions. Okay. Number one, both for live session and recorded session, we need to have fundamentally a laptop or mobile, preferably a laptop, because a lot of online products or tools doesn't support mobile for online live classes especially. Okay, so if you have a laptop, it's good. Even in mobile we can do that. I'll also, if possible, show a demo session on mobile tomorrow. Okay, and for live sessions or recorded sessions, if we are a teacher, we want a digital board and a pen. If you are actually seeing my screen, I'll sorry, seeing my video, I'll just show you the pen. Can you all see the pen which I am showing? And there's some board, which is the blackboard which I am writing. Only with this digital board, I am writing something on the digital board, and you are able to see that on the screen. Kindly comment in the chat box whether you can see this digital board and the pen which I am actually using for writing all these things. Comment in the chat box, please. Yes. Okay. Ideas or principles start by authority, but online class is monotonous. How to rectify this problem? Uh, Thank you, Dr. Suresh, for this wonderful question. Uh, in online session, it's a little bit of monotonous. I agree with that. Not little bit of monotonous. It's a huge monotony. But we cannot control much. This is going to be the new normal. The first thing which you have mentioned in your question is the solution. Ideas or principles start by authority. That authority or value you uh, deliver in your class cannot be done. Even if you don't show your face to the audience, if you deliver pure values using authority, command, all that, right, people will follow blindly, and there will be some reality check, or there is going to be some reality check at this stage during this online sessions. That reality check will be like this. In my sessions, I usually deliver for 100 to 100 students. I always believe my session is very valuable for a lot of students. Okay, so I am delivering 100% of the values. All the 100 students sit in my class can solve a problem is what my real assumption was, because I personally was believing I take class very beautifully and people enjoy it. I can visually see that, but that is not actually converting or getting converted into results always. Especially, I can test this using validation platforms like online teaching, all that. Okay, so later I realized that only 40% of the students in my class are able to replicate or deliver the results which I am expecting, and other 60% are struggling, so they need some extra support. All these things we cannot actually mathematically validate in a regular classroom sessions. So this online platform is going to be a wonderful platform and a challenging platform for us to validate what is the percentage of uh, results students are able to deliver out of this class. How can we improve that on a gradual phase? Okay, so that is one opportunity I see. This monotony is going to be the new normal, and to avoid this monotony there are some tools. I'll also explain that tools later sometimes. Okay. Okay. Yes, sir, I'll just share my screen. Bye. So digital board and pen and good internet connectivities. Okay. So for live session, what is needed? For a recorded session, what is needed? We'll see one by one. Okay. So live sessions can be classified into uh, two different mode of delivery. One is webinar. Webinar is a seminar on the web. So it is webinar. Okay. Uh, so basically, this webinar will be like a guest lecture delivered in an auditorium. Mostly, in a lot of webinar tools, there might be a delay of a small delay of 10 seconds. Only after 10 seconds of but the user's delivery, the audience might actually hear it. Most of the webinars have this 10-second delay. This is used to sync the internet problems, and there will be a lot of presenters available. So to sync all the presenters, they actually use this 10 seconds delay, and this is intentional. Okay. uh, the one which we are doing now is webinar. The other thing is meeting. Okay. So tomorrow we'll have a meeting session. If possible, we'll have a meeting session, or maybe we'll schedule a meeting session after some time tomorrow evening or something like that. Okay. So in the meeting session it will be like this. So now you can see only my screen. At some corner of my screen my video will be displayed, and my presentation will be something like this. My board will be presented something like this, and you will hear my voice in the background. Okay. So meeting fundamentally will be like a lot of people will be there online at some corner. you can, as a presenter, you can see these type of people, and somewhere your screen will also be presented. Okay, so that this is something which will help us to reduce the monotony. We can see whatever the opposite person is actually doing, all that. But there are some challenges. I'll just tell you what are the challenges. In webinar session, what actually happens, one person video is being displayed and other people's sorry, my screen is displayed. Okay, if this video is not there, if I display only my screen, what will happen, or what has happened is, I have a recording software in my system. The same 3 minutes or 4 minutes video without my face, without this recording, the storage is only 7 MB. But the same 3 minutes, 4 minutes video, I do it with my face as a part of that record, and it was 71 MB. So data consumption is just going to be huge in meeting sessions. In webinar sessions, data consumption will be little bit lesser. And also there are various webinar tools. I'll mention few webinar tools. If possible, I'll try to make a note of it. So every webinar tool will have a different set of data consumption, and they might price differently for their tools. Okay, fine. So sorry, can you see my screen now? Unfortunately, I got disconnected. Sorry for the inconvenience. Can you see my screen now? Yes? Okay. Okay, thank you. Sorry for the inconvenience. So webinar tools are very much useful for delivering online session without much of data consumption. In meeting sessions, if we wanted to monitor the students, the data consumption is going to be very huge. Especially if we wanted to conduct a test, a lot of artificial intelligence platform actually have the webcam enabled things, will monitor every student's video, and there is going to be a huge data consumption if we wanted to avoid that monotony. So we have to decide to what level we have to, we might randomly ask any one of the student to switch on their screen so that we can see whether they are writing all that. But displaying all the people's screen at the same time will be multiple video recording happening in the same screen. So it is going to be little difficult if we deliver an online teaching session using a meeting tools. Webinars are better. If we really wanted to conduct test and avoid, if we really wanted to conduct test and if we wanted to monitor the students, avoid monotony, then we don't have much of choices. We have to go with meeting. Okay. So now various tools available for this data for conducting this webinar meeting. All the platforms which provide webinars also provide meeting. Okay, so very few are one of the common tools which a lot of people are using nowadays, or even now we are using some tool called Zoho Meeting. So one is Zoho Meeting, and there is a tool called GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is the famous tool or most commonly used tool for corporate sessions. Okay, and there is something called Webinar Jam. Webinar Jam. There will be plenty of tools, and even we can conduct this using YouTube. We can even conduct a YouTube live session, but tracking is not possible in YouTube live. We cannot track what our audience are actually doing, all that. Okay, fine. So all these common platforms or common meeting tools will have some common features associated with it, which are required for handling an online classes or online webinars. Okay. So now I'm just going to share the screen with you people. Now, as Zoho, sorry, any uh, online webinar platform tool will be having some screen like this. Different tools will be having different interfaces, but most of the things are common. Can you all see my screen? Yes? Can you all see my screen? Yes, okay, fine. So the most common features are, there will be something called mic option. Sorry, there will be something called microphone options. I'm just drawing in the corner. Can you see that? Yes, fine. And there is something called uh, video options. If you switch on this microphone, switch off or switch on this microphone, only then the users will be able to hear you. If you wanted to suddenly switch off that, some TV is running in the background or suddenly some noise is coming, straight away we can switch on this mic so that people audience will not actually hear voice. And this is video. Most of the webinar session doesn't require the audience, especially online teaching sessions, doesn't require the students to see the teacher. It can save some amount of data, but to me personally, only if students sees the teacher, they will get a bit better feel. The feel is always there. It's been already delivered. It can even be built without seeing the face by delivering the content. But me personally, I wish to see my teacher is what my idea. But then it's absolutely okay, and it is an individual call. Okay, fine. And there will be some option called attendees here. Okay, who are all attending the session live. So if I click that, so it shows me 51 attendees are there, 4 staff members are there, including myself. Okay, 54 people are there, and for every attendance or attendees, there will be some options available. So there are people who has switch on their mic. For example, there is a staff or a person called D Vinodini is attending this session. They have switch on their mic, meaning they can actually talk in the session. Okay, and now they have switched off their mic, meaning now they can only hear. Okay, so even as a presenter, we can actually allow them to talk. For example, I can even make one of the audience to talk. So if I allow them to talk, their mic will be once again enabled, so that the student can also get into the session and they can ask their doubt directly. This can be controlled by the presenter. So generally, two people will be there in online webinars. Presenter, and presenter will be delivering the sessions to the audience, or let us keep it as students here. Okay. Uh, Time is now 10:43. I'm planning to wind up the session within another, let's say, 5-10 minutes. So I'll quickly tell a few things, because I've been but scheduled that we can have some 10-15 minutes session as a QA or something like that. Okay, fine. So students, in online sessions, instead of one teacher or presenter, we can have multiple presenters. So 3-4 teachers can actually conduct a single classroom, and it can make the session more valuable and deliverable. One person can take care of the attendance, participation, one can actually deliver the sessions, all that. So it is actually power. Okay, so these are some basic features available in any online tool, and there will be most common options called polls and questions. We can all of a sudden ask a question to or chat chat or question and answer option is the window which we are actually seeing here. Wait, I'll just show that. Q&A box will show you the question and chat options, which a lot of people are questions. Okay, some people have asked me, can online teaching provide the same benefit as face-to-face lectures? Ma'am, I'll answer this question at the last. Just remind me in the Q&A session. Okay, and there is one important feature called poll. Okay, so I think I can add a poll. Sorry. Maybe it will give an idea of is any one of the staffs online? Ma'am, is there anyone online? Actually, I wanted to create a poll. Actually, it's not giving permission for me to enable. Launch polls during a webinar. Okay, fine.
Okay, I'm creating a poll, sir.
I'll just share one question, sir.
Okay, share me.
Okay, I'll just share using.
Just I'm asking, is it audible?
Okay. Sir, can I send the question in the broadcast message?
Yeah.
Okay. So kindly create a poll. Please, if possible, do not post the poll now. We can post the poll after some time. Is that okay, sir?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Yes. So these are the most common features of a webinar session. There will be something called live button. If we click live, it will go live for all the students, and this is how we can use. And there is one more important feature of a live session called screen sharing. Okay, so there will be something called screen share option. Screen share option. If we click on that screen share option, my entire system screen will be visible. But if we really wanted to show only one specific window also, we can do that. For example, there are a lot of tabs which I have opened in my window, Google Chrome window. If I really wanted to show only one tab also, if I wanted to show only this attendance window or only this Google slide window, I can even do that. Those options are available, but that is too much of details at the beginning stage. Okay, so I'm just going to give you only the basic instructions. Fine. Okay, so now I'm going to share a live demo session of how my classes will be. Live session. Okay, so we are already in a live session, so no problem. And the tools, in those tools, you will see the corresponding button, so you can enable all that whatever you need in the classroom. So, and I am now having my laptop. So with the laptop, I'm going to deliver a session. So now, challenge for all the audiences, I'm going to teach you one question now. After that question, I am going to give a similar question, and I want all of you to answer the question. I wanted to check how many of you are answering it correctly, all that. Okay. Is that okay with all of them? Okay. Yes. Now question is this. A can do a piece of work in 20 days. B can do the same piece of work in 30 days. In how many days both of them can do the work together? Sorry, together. So can all of you understand the question? If A alone does the work, he'll be able to do it in 20 days. If B alone does the work, he will be able to do this in 30 days. Okay. So question is, if they are working together, in how many days work can be done? This is a very basic question. Okay. So let me teach this question for all of you. There are multiple methods to solve this problem. Method 1 generally is the traditional approach. If A can do a work in 20 days, in one day A will be able to do 1 by 20 work. Similarly, in one day B will do the work in 30 days, meaning, sorry, in 30 days B will do the entire work. So it is the work done by B in one day. So 1 by 20 plus 1 by 30 is the combined work done by A and B. Okay. Uh, in one day. So if we solve, we get LCM as 60, and we'll get 5 by 60 into n equal to 1, all that. I'm just moving it faster, not because we are at the end of the session, but because we are not going to solve using this method. I'm going to share one easy layman's approach method for solving this problem. So A can do a piece of work. So first step, imagine some work. Okay, so I'm going to imagine this work as, let's say, eating works. Uh, this is the most common work which most of us can relate. Okay, and we also have to imagine some specific food item. So I'm going to imagine laddu. Okay, so the name of this method is going to be laddu method. Fine. So first imagine the total number of laddus. The total number of laddus can be a common number which is divisible by 20 and 30. Okay. So generally we take LCM like this, 20 and 30. Okay. So 10 is common, 2 comma 3. And if you multiply, we'll get 60 as the LCM. Even otherwise, check whether, take the bigger number 30, check whether 30 is divisible by 20. It is not divisible. Add another 30, 60. Check whether 60 is divisible by 20. Yes, it is divisible by 20. Okay. So take 60 as the total number of laddus. Hope all of you can follow me. Step 1, assume that there are 60 laddus. Even if you take it as 120 laddus or 100 laddus, answer will be same. But if you take the right number, it will be easy. 60 laddus, A will be eating in how many days? 20 days. 20 days, he will eat 60 laddus. So he'll eat 3 laddus in a day. Likewise, B will eat 60 laddus in 30 days. Meaning in one day he will eat how many laddus? 2 laddus. Correct? So if A and B work together, instead of A and B, imagine that you and I. Okay, you can eat 3 laddus in a day and I can eat 2 laddus in a day. If we work together, we both can eat 5 laddus in a day. Correct? On first day we'll be eating 5 laddus. Second day another 5 laddus. In 2 days 10 laddus will be completed or will be eaten. So to eat 60 laddus, 60 by 5, 12 days should be the answer. So 12 days. Okay, fine. I think most of you can understand the question which I have taught you. Is there anyone who want me to repeat whatever I have taught you? Can all of you understand whatever I've taught? Yes? Okay, fine. Clear. Now I'm going to check your understandability using a poll. Abhi sir, can you please okay, start the poll. I am just sharing the poll for all of you. So you have to calculate and tell me what is the answer. So far, 3 votes has been polled. 3 students have answered questions, out of which fine. So I'll wait for 20 votes. So far, 9 people have answered. 10, 11, okay, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I think most of you can see my screen. Only 57% of people can answer. Okay, fine. 53, 56, it's changing. Good, good. So a lot of people are still working. Nice to see. What I like the most among the teaching fraternity, especially people like you attending a lot of webinar sessions, is the thirst for learning something new never ends. Even I see a lot of teachers more than the age of 60 attending the session and actively participating in the session. This is something which is really, really great. So you people are great inspiration for young teachers like me. Okay. I didn't even expect 5 votes, but even in my regular sessions for students, I'll not be receiving these many votes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the calculation participation. Now, I'm going to show the results to the attendees. I think all of you can see the result of the poll. Yes, no? This is some way we can use this poll tools to make the sessions more interactive, lively, or to at least check the understandability of the audience, to what extent they have actually listened to our classes. Okay, fine. So my intention, okay, my intention behind this question is not to teach you something, but how an online classes can be. We can actually have 10 minutes of some small concept explanation, and after that we can have some 5 minutes for some poll questions or quiz, so that students will also be feeling interactive. We can reduce the monotony, all that. Okay. So to explain only this specific concept, I actually as this. Okay, now I'm going to share the second attendance with all of you, attendance form. So I request all of you to fill the second attendance form. So I'm unable to share it, so I'll just paste the link. Yes, fine. Okay, fill the link when you're free. Yes, and thank you all of you for listening. And post this session, I'll just give you a small assignment. If there is somebody who's having only mobile phone and no laptops, and if you wanted to use this mobile phone in your class, I'm going to give you a small activity. I'll share a YouTube link. That YouTube link will show you something like it is a do it yourself kind of thing. They will help you to create a digital pen on your own. Your mobile will be acting as the digital board, and to write on your mobile you want a digital pen. This digital pen can be made uh, with less than 5 rupees budget, with the amount of with objects we have in our house. We just need to have a copper wire, old ballpoint pen, and some cotton, some amount of cotton. With this we can actually create a digital pen. I'll also share this link. Sir, kindly please share the participants email IDs so that I can share my contact details so that they can ask me any doubts. Number one. Number two, they can even for those people who wanted to deliver classes in mobile, I'll just share this link also so that they can do that, and we can see a demo in the tomorrow session. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. And if you can have any queries, you can ask me. Sir, you can, your attendance is been already tracked in the meeting tool itself. I just posted the attendance link because to give you some idea of how can deliver some online session effectively, because students are very brilliant. They will just be inside the class and they'll not be actively listening to what we are talking. So what we can do is we purposefully can add some 6 attendance in a 3-hour session, so that only people who fill all the attendance sheet might get the full attendance or the correct attendance, or even we can even tell I might take a random attendance. Absolutely my power, all that. Just to have that point or mention that point, I'm giving this attendance link in between. I'm not going to do anything with this attendance. Sorry for that. Okay. No problem, no problem. Yes, which app is better for webinars and online lectures? Can you please tell about the data consumption of the app? Good, very good question. So basically, you guys can check how much data is getting consumed in Zoho meeting for a 1-hour session, so that we will get an idea of this tool. And very standard tool is GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is full HD video and HD audio. So this will give you a very good class delivery, but the data consumption is very huge. For let's say a 2-hour session, 1 GB, 1.5 GB will be gone. Right. My personal suggestion is, number one, it is there is a tool called Webinar Jam. It actually consumes less data. For 1 hour of class, students are actually consuming about 150 MB only. So for 2 hours, maximum 300 MB. Okay, so the name of the tool is Webinar Jam, and what is even better is YouTube Live. YouTube Live, actually students can control the data consumption by settings, giving settings. But for going YouTube Live, the presenter has to have a very good internet. Upload speed has to be good. Upload speed. I'm talking about live sessions. Okay, for live sessions, if you are concerned about students' data consumption, YouTube Live is the best. If we have a very poor internet connectivity at the home, Webinar Jam is the best. Hope I have answered your question. Okay. Poll application, actually is inbuilt in the webinar tools we are using. All the webinar tools we are using will have a poll application in it. So for offline sessions, there is an app called Telegram. We can even conduct poll in Telegram. That would be better. And somebody has asked me a question previously. Can online session deliver the same value as regular classes? To be very honest, I don't know, and I personally believe an online teacher cannot replace a physical teacher. Because to me personally, more than the content the teacher teaches me, the respect, the fear, the self-discipline, I'll be forced to do things in the teacher's presence is a huge learning compared to the what the content which the teacher teaches. Even in BCI department, I personally wanted to thank BCI department for organizing this wonderful opportunity. I have actually handled classes in a lot of departments in college, in GM college itself, and a lot of different arts and science colleges, but I've never seen what students being so disciplined even in engineering colleges like that of students in BCA because of the this field. A lot of teachers, very powerful teachers are there in the department. Not only the head, always a head holds a considerable weightage, but then beyond the head or in addition to the head, lot of faculties or almost all the faculties are very powerful, and students have that force, or they have that fear, respect of being disciplined inside the class, all that. Those things I think will seriously be having a hit. That becomes a moral responsibility, more of moral responsibility of the parents nowadays. And second thing, content, I personally think content can be transferred. Not an issue with that. Okay. Any other question? Yeah. Attendance, yes. Attendance form tomorrow. I can even show that demo in tomorrow's session, how to create an attendance form. Okay. Free service provider. Actually, internet service providers are never free, but the tools which I have mentioned, I think you are asking about the tools, open source tools. Open source tools, there is something called Big Blue Button. If we are an educational organization, this is not for individual teacher. An individual teacher can conduct only one-on-one class, one-to-one class in this Big Blue Button. But for handling classes for 100 students, 50 students, we need to have something called server. This tool is free of cost. They are providing this tool, but we have to install this Big Blue Button inside the college server or something. This will cost some money. This will cost 2,000 to 5,000 rupees per month for conducting classes for 200 audience at a time. Based on the number of audience, they actually charge. But this Big Blue Button is an open source tool. But nevertheless, most of the webinar tools, they provide free trial for 7 days or 14 days, 2 weeks. So we can actually check whichever is better for us, or even we can create a new user ID for every 14 days to continue the services. That's not recommended though. And even that Webinar Jam, they give trial for a small cost. They charge $1, 75 rupees for 14-day trial. So if you wanted to try that also, we can try. The best open source tool is YouTube, and students also will be finding it very easy. All data consumption will be sorted. But education purpose, I personally have not used so far. Maybe I'll just give a try and let you know. But YouTube, the biggest constraint is the upload speed. The instructor's internet speed has to be phenomenal. I am actually delivering this class using my mobile data, right? So that cannot be done using YouTube. YouTube will have a requirement of, let's say, 100 Mbps speed, upload speed. Not 100 Mbps. They will be requiring only 5 to 10 Mbps speed. But then only if you have an internet connectivity which will give you access to 50 Mbps, 100 Mbps speed, some fiber optic connection, then YouTube live sessions are possible. Okay. Fine. Commanders. Which app is good if we use mobile? Ma'am, I'll due to time constraint, I'll just explain about mobile usage in the tomorrow session. Okay. Which one? Somebody has asked which one is a free app. I don't know which you are talking about. Okay. I will give reference. Okay, which LMS tool is best? Ma'am, I'll just research about LMS tools and let you know tomorrow, ma'am. I'll just take these questions and work on it and come back to you, ma'am. Yes,
It's okay, sir. No problem. Participants, you can please mail the doubts whichever you have, or else tomorrow we'll be continuing the same session by 10 o'clock. You can continue tomorrow. So really the session was very much informative regarding the online teaching tools challenges. Tomorrow we'll continue with the session.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much for the opportunity.